Inspire, motivate, challenge.
I left in May, and so of course, yeah, spiritual, but then you have to use your sense. So I came up with I now created a PowerPoint slide deck. I titled it Exit Plans. So I now started thinking, what can I do? At least something must be bringing in money. Remember, there's nothing to fall back on. Yeah, so I think I'll do this training, I'll do that, I will, because bulk of what I was doing in Pfizer was around training and all that, so I said, okay, I'll do all that, you know. But then, in leaving, I was also, even as I'm more of a legacy-driven person, meaning that I don't want the scenario, but when I leave, everything I have done will either die or live with me. You know, I should be able to hand it over. So early in the setting up of most of these training programs I created, we had to then mobilize reps to train them on the modules so that they could also go more like a train the trainer and all that. We had limited success with that. Some of the people who had trained earlier were like, look, that guy, is he still coming? You know, so, but then before I left, you know, this part of the Bible that says, I think when Abraham went to rescue Lot and then wanted to give him some of the loot, they said, lest any man says, Abraham was blessed by you. So when I was leaving, all the material, all the things I used Pfizer resources to acquire, because there were times I had to buy books, do research and all those things, I handed them over to whoever was taking over from me. So that before they say, is the Pfizer material I want to use to start his own house, I left everything and I came out. At the time, I was doing customer service training. I left the modules with them and I created selling skills training modules from the ground up.
Oh, wow.
So there's no using anybody's resources to launch, no. And for me, it's an important message for people who are in paid employment to say, do your employer's work as if it were your own. It's exactly how you do your employer's business that you do. Forget, perish the thought that, oh, when I start my own, I would, no. It's how you work there that you will run your own, you know. I remember on about 2 occasions, one of them, I think it was Dr. Campbell, a consultant in, when I was a rep, Oni Memorial Children's Hospital, and she was like, you know, the way you take this Pfizer work as if it's your father's company. I said, my father's company. Because that's where I'm serving at the time and I have to put in my best, you know. And a few other people have said it. I said, look, that's the only way I know how to operate, you know, with all diligence and all that, because you never know where God is going to bless you from. So just do it as unto the Lord. You know, even the Bible says that when you are serving your master, serve as unto the Lord, you know. So that's my guiding principle. And so when we started, there were a few people. Okay, so when I started, so between the February and May, it now became, okay, fine, now that I know I'm going, where will I operate from? Getting an office was not part of the plan, because from which money save? So I remember then,
Remote was
remote was not in existence, you know. So I remember then I had a number of options. Of course, I believe I built goodwill all over the place, you know. Sitting in my father's office was an option, which was down the pecking order. Then I had a strong relationship with a few people, you know, but I went to one of them, New Heights Pharmacist, Organic Komarai. I remember vividly the former Maryland Business Plaza. That's where he was at the time. And I was like, I'm leaving, you know, this, that, and I need a place to be hiding my head. And there's conference room there now. Also, you can just go and sit down there and be doing your stuff and all that. And that is how we started, you know, and then things just kept growing from there, you know. From there he moves to where we are now, and then on and around, and then of course he keeps growing, and by God's grace I also keep growing and all that. So we start with those trainings. I run some of those customer care trainings for him, a few people, and gradually from there things begin to pick up. One of the things I planned to do is what we now know as Pharmalliance. To say, having done trainings with pharmacists and their staff and all that, I mean, I've seen the critical gap. I had started some form of consulting with a few of the people, and they claimed they were seeing impact, they were seeing results. And I was like, okay, fine. Then because of my work schedule, I couldn't do a full-time site, and I was getting the demand for my side time was getting too much, you know. So I thought, okay, let's bring all these guys together into one group and start off.
Yeah, so sorry, just pause a bit.
Okay.
What was your entity called at the time when you started the whole customer service training thing? Like, did you have a company registered at that point in time?
Okay. So way back in, I think while I was still in Pfizer, I had incorporated the company, Shine & Clo.
Oh, okay.
Shine & Clo, yeah. So that had been there.
Okay.
And that had been a vehicle that I had used for a number of things in the past, you know. So that's what I started off with. Okay. But for Pharmalliance, and I had to incorporate a new entity, you know. So I incorporated Pharmalliance Consulting. And so we said, okay, fine, let's gather people. So we sent out messages, sent out, bulk SMSs. I had every opportunity to speak. I was introducing the concept and all that. Starting soon. And then we started in November, I think, November 2013, the same year I left Pfizer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we started a few months. So I left in May. We launched in November, 6 months after.
Sorry, when you say launch, are you saying you launched the panel?
Pharmalliance.
Okay, just
panel is another story. Okay. We'll still get to panel somewhere down the line. I'm sure by the time I finish this one, I'd have answered most of the questions.
I imagine.
Yeah, and so by the time we got to, so when we done all the announcements, sending messages over 1,000 community pharmacists in Lagos, this, that. Day one, like an information session, so to speak, and all that. How many people were interested? 9 people showed up. And so Pharmalliance started with 9 people. Until today, I celebrate those 9 guys who believed when there was nothing to believe in. And this month, we gave our we celebrated people who had been with Pharmalliance for more than 5 years. There were about 49 of them or so. And of the initial 9 disciples, we still have 6 of them still in the group 8 years after. I mean, some had relocated, some had, different things, but we still have 6 who are with us. And, so that's how the Pharmalliance journey started. So I think that can suffice from my story up till now.
But sorry, just for clarity, when
yes.
you say the group,
yes,
and you started with 9 people, what group? What do you mean?
That's Pharmalliance. Okay, so Pharmalliance is a retail pharmacy business network.
Okay.
It's a subscription-based network.
Okay.
People pay to be members of the group. And once you're in the group, you enjoy insurance, accounting, business support, and all that. Yeah. That initial group of 9 now has 83 businesses in the network, largely in Lagos. Our next biggest cluster is in Ibadan. Ibadan, I think, has about 20 businesses, but Lagos has about 50-something businesses. Last year, when COVID launched in Nigeria, we launched the Star membership plan.
Okay.
And so we now have members all over the country. So we have members in Ogun State, we have in Edo State, we have in Benue State, we have in Cross River, Abuja, Akwa Ibom. We have members in all those places. And so most of our meetings are now either virtual or streamed. So what that means is that if we have a physical meeting, we now stream it to all those who are not physically present. And so that's where Pharmalliance is now.
Okay, fantastic.
And we like to say we have a combined turnover of close to 20 billion naira.
Oh.
Yes.
That's cool. Very inspiring.
Thank you, sir.
So just some quick fire questions.
Yes, sir.
So you talked about you were the SecGen for PANS.
Yes, sir.
Was that PANS in Unilag?
PANS Unilag.
Okay, not the...
No, national. Unilag, yes.
So, I mean, I just, like for maybe young people or students who will be watching this.
Okay.
Like and is there like an advantage for being very active in your school student association thing? Is there any additional skill or benefits that adds to you, or just, you know?
I believe so. School is hardly ever about books and all that. So your ability to do some of those things will equip you if you are serious about it. I know people going for different reasons. From my secondary school, okay, so secondary school, I think I was also secretary of the Literary Debating Society, and those days you organized Lit Day and all those things. So I've been part of these kind of things. So those kind of things, if you take it seriously, and from secondary school, they've been chopping money since all those days too. If you're not going there to enrich yourself, but then to add value, you will learn leadership, you will learn organizational skills, you will learn networking, you learn how to hustle for money. You know, because I remember vividly Professor Dukoya, then she was our former PANS advisor. She was advisor to PANS at the time, Cognos, yes. You know, and she's, of course, if you're like, you know, she's one of those strict lecturers and all that. And I remember then I was on the road hustling money, and I heard she came to class because I was not in class. I was on the road, and she was like, "Where's Opanubi?" He's out there. What are you people doing here? He has gone out there. And, you know, so that was kind of support we got back then as students, because then she was for the positive things we were about, you know, changing in faculty of pharmacy in Unilag at the time and all that. So yes, there's a lot of benefits, you know, as long as you don't allow it to distract you from the primary reason why you are in school. You're able to do PANS because you're a student. You don't lose your studentship to PANS activism and all that. Yeah, so that's it.